Fox News alert in the search for missing baby Lisa Irwin of Missouri. New and potentially bombshell information in this investigation regarding Deborah Bradley, that's the mother, her cell phone records. As we here at America Live first reported this week, investigators on this case have told the family that they have phone records proving that even though Deborah Bradley and Jeremy Irwin's phones were restricted on the day the baby went missing, a call was at least attempted at 11:57 p.m. on Deborah's phone that night. That's a time at which Deborah told investigators she was sleeping. That call went to the phone of a woman named WMegyn Wright, who lives in a questionable house and who tells police and others that she does not know Deborah or her husband Jeremy and says she did not get any call or voicemail. Now, we here at America Live are learning that at 3:17 a.m. and at 3:32 a.m. that same night, someone tried to access Deborah Bradley's voicemail on Deborah's phone. And someone also tried to use the internet on that phone repeatedly. Joining me live now, for the first time, the attorney for the Irwin family, John Paserno. John, thank you so much for being here with us. And these events are starting to create a timeline of the night this baby girl went missing that you believe could support an intruder theory. Tell us why.
That's right. Thank you, Megan, for having me, and happy Veterans Day. The timing of everything is just as you just said in your opening comments about there is no other evidence other than the fact that Debbie was asleep after midnight. She went to bed after 10:30. She was asleep throughout the morning. This phone problem that they had was when the phones were cut off. They could only receive incoming phone calls and incoming texts from early in the afternoon. She received her fiance Jeremy tried to contact her early in the evening to tell her that he was going to be late coming home. It went direct to the Verizon message, stating that the phone is, not operable. And then the next thing that we have is FBI confirmation that at 11:57 p.m., according to the phone records that they showed both to Joseph and myself, that there was an outgoing phone call to WMegyn Wright that lasted approximately 50 seconds. There's absolutely no other phone calls that were ever made between the two. The FBI has all of the records. There's absolutely no evidence to suggest that these two people knew each other or that in any way were connected.
And then the next phone record that evening shows that somebody attempted to call Deborah's voicemail at 3:17 and 3:22 a.m.?
That is correct, along with the fact that the internet browser was activated 5 times, although from the records you can't tell exactly the time that the buttons were pushed to search the internet.
So was the internet successfully accessed, do we know?
I believe so. I don't believe that there would be a record of it.
Okay, and so are the feds telling you what, if anything, was searched, if something was searched?
No, that wasn't discussed when we were there. We actually saw the phone records. We saw the ping records as well, and that part was not discussed. And
the ping records, where do they show? How far away from the home did the cell phones get?
Anywhere from 1/5 of a mile up to 1/3 of a mile in a sort of if you can visualize a baseball field from their house. And that's in the wooded area behind their house all the way down to the banks of the Missouri River.
So the cell phones never got more than 1/3 of a mile away from the Irwin home?
Not according to the PowerPoint presentation that the FBI showed to both Mr. Tacopina and myself on November 1st when we met with them for approximately 3 hours.
And so, John, let's talk it through, because you can argue this either way, as you know. And we've been sure to underscore to our viewers throughout the coverage of this case that they need to keep an open mind. We don't know what happened. There could be a baby girl who's out there right now who needs our help. But if you want to argue it, as the prosecution might in a case against the parents, they could say 11:57 p.m. Deborah tries to call somebody, WMegyn Wright, on her phone call. WMegyn Wright, according to our reporting, lives in a house at which crystal meth is used regularly, and our witness who lives in that house says that she also is a user. Deborah Bradley's calling her, perhaps for drugs, perhaps for some other reason, doesn't get through, something happens with the baby, and then who else would be calling Deborah's own voicemail at 3:30 in the morning than Deborah? Talk that through with me.
Sure. The 11:57 call The phone number that was dialed was Megan Wright's. Again, these two people don't know each other. If you were going to call somebody for a drug connection, you would already have their phone number. You would already have called their phone number in the past because you would have been in a position to score drugs from this person earlier. The only person who would dial that number of Megan Wright would be somebody who knew her phone number. Obviously, from where we're looking at, since we know that Deborah and Jeremy had no knowledge of this person even existed, the only person that has been involved in the investigation thus far that knew that phone number was Jersey.
Now, the police are saying, I'm going to let you complete your thought, but police are saying that they've moved on from Jersey, and we have heard reports that Jersey has an alibi for the critical hours of that evening. Is that what you have heard as well?
I have heard that they've moved on from Jersey. I have not heard that he had a solid alibi.
Okay, we haven't confirmed that. It's just, you know, you hear things in the case and it may or may not be true. Okay, so explain then,
Yes.
Why would Jersey, if he had this phone, why would he be trying to access Deborah's voicemail at 3:30 a.m.?
Why would anybody be trying to access the voicemail, especially somebody who knew that you could not access the voicemail because the phones had been turned off? So the owner of the phone had known from Verizon that the phones were no longer operable. And that's, you know, it doesn't make any sense for someone to try to collect that voicemail.